Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. So every now and then I run into something that is completely mind-blowing about Star Wars. A lot of these topics are so simple that I can only make them into like a 3-minute video. And 2 minutes of that video would just be me making not acceptable jokes.
Like this bird bath, their dreams, hopes, and parents are now dead.
So today we decided to put all those crazy things together into one video so that everyone is happy. Except for the people who don't like my face. Alright, great. Now that we got all that important stuff sorted out, let's go to number 1. Now guys, whenever I show this scene at the end of Return of the Jedi, Tupac always pops up in the background right next to Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker. I always tell people it's because I have a bootleg version of the movie, but that's not exactly the truth. By using the powers of Adobe, I rotoscoped Tupac's hologram into this scene. Now, besides being extremely hilarious, there's another deeper reason why I do this. You see, Tupac actually read for the part of Mace Windu, and George Lucas was very keen on having him. Unfortunately, Tupac died 1 year before The Phantom Menace started production. He was gunned down in a drive-by shooting by Mandalorian bounty hunters, which is also why Samuel L. Jackson separated Jango's head from his body in Episode 2. That wasn't self-defense, people. That was a revenge killing. So, we don't really know if Tupac had received his full Jedi training before he died. But don't be sad, guys. I think you should keep your head up. To live and die in the West Coast, that was Pac's life. A gangster party. Nope, I ain't mad at you, Tupac. But holla if you hear me. Because I know you're a Force ghost now. Since we're kind of on the subject of Mandalorian bounty hunters, let's go on to our next observation. Jango and Boba. Now, I always get these guys confused because they're both things that you find in a mango bubble tea, but it's also because they share the same DNA imprint. While the rest of the clones have slightly altered DNA that makes them grow at twice the speed and be more obedient, Boba is a completely identical genetic copy of Jango. Now, Boba calls Jango father, but what he should really be calling him is father-brother, or Fabro. Even though Jango had his head in the right place and tried to raise Boba as his son before they were unfortunately separated by a vengeful Jedi, from a scientific standpoint, they're actually twins. Yeah. And talking about twins, let's go on to the most famous twins in all of Star Wars. Luke and Leia. Now, I could tell you my theory that children born out of incest are 50% more likely to fall to the dark side, but no, that's not mind-blowing enough. What is mind-blowing is, despite being born only minutes apart from one another, Luke and Leia aren't the same age. Just like Jango and Boba, these are not your everyday twins. According to Einstein's special theory of relativity, the closer a person gets to the speed of light, the more time dilates. If two twins were on Earth and one twin traveled at light speed to another planet and came back, they would be biologically younger than the twin that stayed on Earth. Although as of right now, traveling at light speed is technically impossible with our understanding of how the universe works. But you don't necessarily need to be traveling at light speed to determine if Einstein's theories are correct. As a matter of fact, they've already proven that his theory is correct by using extremely accurate atomic clocks. Scientists left one atomic clock in a high-speed aircraft while another synchronized clock was left motionless on the ground. After flying for several miles, the high-speed aircraft landed and its clock was indeed different from the one left on the ground. The time difference also matched the projections that the scientists made using Einstein's formula. Both Luke and Leia were born on Polis Massa, a group of asteroids at the end of Haydn Way in the Outer Rim. Leia is taken by Bail Organa in a CR-90 Corvette to the core planet of Alderaan. Luke is taken by Obi-Wan Kenobi in an unknown ship to Tatooine, which is all the way on the other side of the galaxy. So unless Obi-Wan Kenobi's ship was considerably faster than the CR-90, Luke would have spent more time at light speed than Leia, which means at least initially Leia is older than Luke. Now, up till the time shortly before the Battle of Yavin, Luke remains on Tatooine and does not partake in any interstellar travel that we know of. Leia, however, frequently traveled amongst the stars as the daughter of a diplomat and later on as a senator representing Alderaan. So that means Luke is much older by the time he meets Leia for the first time. A few weeks later, Luke has become a hero by destroying the Death Star, and he almost died if it weren't for a random TIE fighter pilot. You see, most people think that it was Han Solo who saved the day by coming in and blasting Darth Vader and his escorts before they could blast Luke. But let's take a close look at the footage. The first TIE fighter is shot down by Han, but what happens next? the second TIE fighter randomly crashes into Darth Vader's ship and sends him careening off into the distance. So yeah, maybe Han Solo did scare that TIE fighter into crashing into Darth Vader, or perhaps that TIE fighter was trying to push Darth Vader out of harm's way. Either way, without that TIE fighter, all hope would have been lost. And in this case, Han Solo didn't shoot first. As a matter of fact, he didn't shoot at all. This was a blue-on-blue incident. Now, a lot of fictional franchises make up their own fictional languages. Star Wars is no different. The Jawas were native to Tatooine and were scavenger traders. They had a pretty odd-sounding language. Ben Burt, a sound designer from Star Wars, said that the language is based loosely off of several African languages, including Zulu. The reason why it's hard to tell is because the Jawa language is sped up. This was interesting because some scientists in Star Wars say that Jawas and Sand People are actually evolved from humans. Okay, maybe that wasn't the coolest observation, so I'll give you another bonus one. The music we hear in the cantinas belong to a genre called jizz. The musicians who played were known as jizz whalers. And we'll end on that educational note. I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on all of our latest and greatest content. And a special thanks to all you Patreon supporters out there. Here's a mind-blowing fact about you guys. You're motivating us not to make crap. I hope this wasn't crap. Thanks for joining us. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.